Hey, Fabulites, this is Angela, and I am doing some commentary, some thoughts, some recaps, some review on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, the 4-part season reunion. And 4 parts, good Lord, that's like a mini series. That's like a season. But the season, of course, I think, was it 20 episodes, 22 episodes? That's like a third of a year or half a year. So I wasn't going to say anything about The Real Housewives of Atlanta. But since it's such a long reunion, I decided to add my little commentary to the mix. So I guess whenever I'm dealing with these reality shows, I feel like I have to disclaim, at least in my head, I'll be thinking, these are real people. And I try to be respectful as much as I can because they are real people, but they're playing characters. So I know some of the stuff that they're doing is probably not in character. It's a reflection of their character in the way that they're doing it. And I know that for, these people, it's a job, and part of their job is being messy. And so I don't, if somebody gets on my nerves as a character on the TV show, I don't know them personally. I don't hate them personally. I don't. Now on this particular show, The Real Housewives of Atlanta, one of the women I actually happen to have had some personal experience of because we went to the same high school together. And, so I have an opinion of her based on that, but we were not friends in high school, and we had little to no interaction. I can think of just one little experience, but I feel like it's the essence of this person. But I don't know her. Sure, so this is just the characters that they play on TV. So look, the first thing I did, or one of the things, so stick around, like, comment, subscribe if you want to hear my recap of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know what season this is, but it's the one that's just finishing up now. And this is the reunion, and this is episode 1 of the 4-part reunion. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of different commentary. So I'm just going to go through my notes. It's a historic 4-part reunion. I just want to say also, look, it's a lot of stuff I just want to say. To me, Andy is so shady, and people use shade like, oh, that's shady, that's shady. Sometimes when people use shady, I'd be like, that's not really shady to me. When I think of shady, I think of over the years of She by Sheree, over the years of Sheree being a housewife. Every time that Sheree would come onto Bravo's Andy's show, what is it called, the Clubhouse or whatever, Andy would ask Sheree, is that She by Sheree you're wearing? And he would ask it like it seemed so sincere and so genuine. But over the years, it became obvious to me that his ass is shady. I feel like that's shade. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So the first thing I want to say is my mother, we've been, we kind of laugh and joke about it, but, and I wasn't paying close attention when I've kind of missed the beginning. I'm like, did Andy ask Sheree if she was wearing She by Sheree? And my mother said, if I was Sheree, I would have made me up something, had something made. So the next time his ass asked me, is it She by Sheree? I'd be like, yes. And I was like, I expanded. I said, and it would be an on-demand item too, where even if it was a t-shirt or whatever, and you can order it at 1-800 She by Sheree, or, www She by Sheree. Shoot, don't be letting Andy shade you, girl. You better wear you some She by Sheree, even if it's just one design a year, one design a decade. Get you something. Let that be your Andy Cohen uniform. But I don't think he asked that. So anyway, Andy is shady. And I didn't think it was shady because and everybody is like, oh my God, it's so much shade. When Phaedra was like, we don't travel in the same circles. And Andy was like, yeah, we're kind of in a semicircle now. But she said, we don't travel in the same circles except for here. And I understood what she was saying, but you are colleagues. You do work together. So that is a circle. So, I don't think it was shady. I thought it was funny though. Okay. So, on the stage, Andy Cohen was in the center. He had Candy next to him, Kenya and Cynthia next to Candy on one couch, and then Phaedra on the other side of him with, with Portia and Sheree on the other couch. So they were kind of divided. It was like a team thing going on. Who is this? URG. What does that stand for? I think my neighbor is out of the country for like that's right, Bella. It's been like 2 or 3 months. What they doing? Who they are? In a neon green shirt. I guess he ain't trying to sneak around in neon green. So anyway, that's my, you know, and Candy said that she realized, Andy said, in 8 seasons, you finally made it, you know, to the seat on the couch right next to me. And she like, yeah, I realized that's like the hot seat. That's the person who had the most drama this season. I'm like, you finally realized you ain't finally realized nothing, girl. Cause you know, you a thinker, you an analyzer, you be analyzing situation. You already knew. And I heard through the grapevine that your contract is up for renewal this year. So, you know, it looked like you did the right thing. I know I be looking to you to see how you be handling your business, because I know you are a business-oriented woman, and we respect that. However it appears, you know, on the surface, you really, really seem to be about your business, Miss Candy, coded money. So I did a little list for myself, and then I invited my mother to add her thing. We had likability. So I got 2 lists of likability. My number 1 for likability, like, you know, just based on what I've seen on TV, of course, I don't know the people, or, you know, my little bit of interaction with them. Who seems the most likable? Like, if I was to just like spend time with them as like normal people, not as entertainment or something to watch on TV, like that TV show Seinfeld. Hello? That TV show Seinfeld, I used to love Seinfeld, but I would never want to spend time with them people. I mean, I spent time with them watching the show, but I mean, just to spend time with them, they seem like nasty, mean. They seem like nice people. So these are people who I like the most. I like Cynthia the most. I think she would be cool and a nice person to spend time with. I think Phaedra would be cool and a nice person to spend time with, of those 6 women. Now, you know, just in the whole scope of people, I don't know if any of these people would be in my top 6, but of the 6 of them, my order is Cynthia, then Candy, then Kenya. Because I think that Kenya would be a sane and normal person. Like, if she was meeting the public or meeting people, I think she would be, you know, relatively cool. You know, if the cameras weren't there and she wasn't hustling to try to, you know, keep her spot. Portia, Phaedra, and then Sheree, in terms of who I might like to spend time with. And my mother's list was very similar, but a little different. She put Candy as number 1. She put Cynthia as number 2 in terms of likability. She had a hard time with number 3 and 4, but she went with Kenya because she said Kenya is from Detroit. So she figured, you know, she'll give her the Detroit benefit of the doubt, the homegirl, you know, bump up. And then number 4, she had Sheree. Number 5, she had Portia. And then number 6, she had Phaedra. And she and Ivy and Phaedra are both lawyers. My mother is a lawyer. You'd think she'd want to spend time with the other lawyer. And then I did an entertainment factor list, which, you know, this is just my opinion. I think that Kenya is number 1 on the entertainment factor, because I feel like she's funny and she's light, and, you know, she basically, you know, she was relatively entertaining for me to watch. Phaedra is number 2. Portia is number 3. Candy is number 4, Sheree is number 5, and then Cynthia is number 6. So isn't that interesting? In terms of entertainment, Cynthia is number 6. In terms of likability, for me, she's number 1. So, you know, that kind of makes me want to have her on the show, because I like to have somebody on the show who I like, even if they aren't the most entertaining. She seemed like a nice woman. Shit, why all the black women I see got to be, you know, crazy acting and mean acting and petty acting? Okay, and then I had a drama this season list. So this season, to me, it seems like Portia was number 1 in terms of drama. Phaedra was number 2, but she might have been number 1. And, you know, but the way I had Portia, Phaedra, Candy, Sheree, Kenya, and Cynthia. And again, Miss Cynthia, she at the bottom of the drama list, but she at the top of the likability list. And Kenya might be higher up on the list because she had all of that with Matt. So that was that. I just want to say, and I know it has been said, but I did appreciate and respect and value, even in watching garbage TV, I appreciate and give shout outs, many shout outs, as who is it who says the fist pump of righteousness? For its rocks. I give the For its rocks fist pump of righteousness to Phaedra for bringing social issue awareness to the table with the Flint water crisis, and also with black men being shot down in the street. And it's been kind of a consistent thing with her, Democratic. I acknowledge that, and I know that it's a television show and it's for entertainment purposes. But I value that and I respect that. And if not you, who? Because did nobody else do it, boo. So, that's good. So, in terms of the way people looked, Cynthia was hands down hair. I loved her hair, and I loved her dress. I loved those strings going all across. And it was like at the top, it was like holding the thing together. I love Cynthia's dress and, her hair. I loved her hair. And then Portia, I liked her short hair. And I think, I thought her smile, she has a pretty smile, and she was smiling real pretty. I don't know if you can smile real pretty, but I thought she looked, I like her with the short hair. And somebody was saying, or I read someplace, oh, she has a horse face, she shouldn't wear short hair. I felt like when I saw her with the short hair, when I see her, I think, she's an attractive, she looks like a human to me, not an animal. And she's an attractive person. And I like seeing her bone structure in her face. And, so I like the short hair. Phaedra, I really like the bottom of her dress. I like that everybody had that nude lip thing going, even though Sheree had a really, really dark lip, but it was like it was in the neutral color palette, even though it was dark. And everybody's makeup was very, natural and simple. We'll see how it wears as the reunion goes on. Because sometimes, you start putting on 8-hour makeup is it ain't easy. And if your makeup artist hasn't been working, if you or your makeup artist hasn't been working with you for a while on, it's one thing to put it on for an hour or 2 or 3 or 4, but when you get into 6, 7, 8, that's a whole nother thing. So we gonna watch that makeup if I remember to pay attention. So we talked about that. And I do believe that Kenya tries to provoke. And I remember when Tootie, what's the child's name? When Kim Fields was on the show and she stood behind her chair and was about to pull her chair out, that was over the line. But I think she feels like her character and her role is to provoke. And she tries to be very provocative. And I think she is very provocative. And I feel like, when you're dealing with grown people, and we all know that we're on reality TV, I don't think that it's unfair. I think in the real world it's unfair and disrespectful, but in the reality TV world, if she can get up in Phaedra's face and follow her when Phaedra is upset and get a reaction, that give her something to talk about, and it makes Phaedra look kind of crazy. Hey, boo boo, it's a sweet Bella, and a Rooski, and a little boo boo. Yes, she is. Okay. So, yeah, I think, following Portia, if you're scared of somebody, you don't follow them. If I think you are you're volatile and you might, or I don't know about other people, but me, if I think you're volatile and you might attack me and you get up and leave someplace, I'm not following your ass. I'm going to go the other way or stay my ass where I am. She ain't scared of that girl. She knows that girl, that young woman, Portia, is volatile, and she was trying to get her to pop off for entertainment value. And then she could be the victim. Oh, all I was trying to do was trying to, see if she was okay, and I felt bad. And then I don't know what happened, but she just turned around and popped me in my mouth. Now, again, we're talking about grown people. So Portia, good for you. It's high time. It's never too late, and it's never too early to learn to control yourself. Because there's going to be all kinds of crazy, volatile people and situations in the world, and you have to figure out what works for you and what serves you. Don't be letting people push your buttons like you a daggone radio or car. You ain't no car. You a person, girl. Okay. I think that the best lines to me in Real Housewives history, the ones that I can remember on the spot, or I guess just from listening to was it the show yesterday or was it the after show? But hell to the nah, nah. That was funny. And I still say, who gonna check me, boo? I say that all the time in all different kinds of situations. So even though I guess years ago I always thought Nene has the best lines, I can't really think of any of her lines. Is she the one that used to say my lip gloss is popping? She was funny, but I think that in terms of usefulness of lines, and I'm sorry that who gonna check me, boo, that came out in a, I'm embarrassed at the situation. It's not my situation to be embarrassed about, but I think that if I was Sheree, I would be embarrassed about the situation. But that line, who gonna check me, boo? Look, Bella looking up at me. She like, I'm not gonna check you. That's right. You gonna check me? Who gonna check me, boo? So I give her the award for the hand clap to Sheree for the best lines. And they all be funny. Kenya with all of those Chateau She Can't Pay and Chateau Thelma and Chateau She Ain't Got No Appliances. They be funny. Phaedra's come up with some funny shady. They're all, or not all, but there are a lot of very clever, funny things that people say on this show. So they talked about, I'm not even going to go into the review part because, y'all saw it or you didn't see it. But the first, even in a 2-part reunion, the first one ain't really that much going on anyway. Until the end, maybe there's a little bit of drama. So there wasn't none of that going on. I mean, there was something kind of sort of going on at the end. I can't even remember it. Portia and Candy done. Oh, when I thought that was so funny. And now I don't know. And maybe Candy is a liar. Because I read people's comments and they're like, Candy is a liar. I can't stand Candy. And I'm like, and I guess that's why, there's no accounting for taste and everybody's personality is different. But the impression that Candy has given me over the years is she seemed like she say what she mean and she means what she says. I don't really get the impression of her as being a liar. I don't really get the impression of her as, an indiscreet woman or a foolish woman. But I just feel like she don't really seem to have a lot to hide. I don't really get that impression from her. Whereas from Portia and Phaedra, I definitely get the impression that they would say one thing on TV and do something totally different off of the TV, that they would just straight up lie. And to me, they seem to lie all the time. So when when Andy was like, well, Portia and Candy, will you ever be friends? And Portia's like, well, there's a possibility that maybe somehow, some way, in the future, you never know. And Candy is like, no, I don't think so. I mean, she's saying that for the cameras, but her pattern is to say one thing when the camera is on or when she thinks the camera is on, and another thing when it's not. So I thought that was, it seemed like some real dish, like some real stuff. And I believed it. I believed Candy, that Portia is full of, I don't want to say that any human being is full of shit, but she acts like someone. If she was a character in a movie, she would be the character who's full of shit. But we know she's a real person and she's not full of shit. And my mother said, it's easier to be consistent when you are telling the truth. It's easier to be consistent when you are telling the truth. So, this whole thing, there was some stuff at the end of the episode with Portia and Candy, and it's gonna loop back around. But with Portia saying that she apologized, or she called and spoke with Phaedra because they're friends, but she didn't call and speak with Candy because I guess she didn't value her friendship or her relationship. And Candy is like, I tried to be supportive of you. I gave $5,000 when you were on The Apprentice. Well, that was for charity. Yeah, but when we see that she gave $2,500 for charity to the Flint water crisis, shit, I wish it had been the other way around, but it seemed like she was trying to be supportive of her behind. So anyway, I know all of that is going to come back up and loop back around. But I guess the lesson of the day is, children, it's easier to be consistent when you are telling the truth. So go out into the world and tell the truth. Just be honest. You don't have to say it if it's not necessary or kind, but know the truth and be comfortable being who you are, because you're fabulous and you're wonderful. So be you, be fabulous you, and thanks for watching. See you next Sunday. Bye. Next Monday, next week. Bye.